You're not being dramatic. The moon is doing something to you. The emotional swings, the weird dreams that feel like memory, the sudden motivation to start everything at once, followed by the urge to disappear. It's not mood, it's not fatigue, it's motion, energetic motion. And right now, it's flowing through you faster than most people can handle. From June 16th to June 21st, the moon is moving through three powerful zodiac signs: Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. That's not just a normal transition, it's a cosmic recalibration, a storm of spiritual activity moving from emotional sensitivity to impulsive action, to grounded clarity. It's rare to have these three signs activate the moon in such quick succession, each one unlocking a different layer of your internal experience. But what's even more important is this. There's something hidden in this particular window. Something most people will miss because they're too distracted, too tired, too caught in the noise. If you ignore what's happening this week, you risk carrying the same confusion into the next season of your life. You risk missing a door that only opens once in this form. And here's the truth. Most people will feel this shift, but they won't know what to do with it. They'll feel the pressure, the ache, the emotional static, but they'll keep scrolling. They'll medicate it, intellectualize it, or brush it off. But not you, not if you're here, not if you're watching this. Because this video didn't just land in front of you by accident, it was placed in your path, by alignment, by resonance, by timing. So before we go any further, if you already feel something shifting inside, if you know this week has felt off in a way you can't quite explain, pause now. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop the number 77 in the comments. That number marks your agreement with the energy, your signal that you're tuned in. It lets the algorithm know to share this with others who are waking up to the same thing. But more importantly, it marks this moment for you. It says, I received the message. Let's go deeper. This isn't just another moon cycle. It's not just Pisces to Aries to Taurus. It's a metaphysical progression. Think of it like walking through three rooms in your own subconscious. Pisces is the foggy dream chamber, where everything is soft, blurry, emotional. Aries is the fire hallway, where instincts flare up, tempers rise, and unfinished business tries to grab your attention. And Taurus is the temple, the final room, where what's real stays and everything else burns away. You're not watching these signs pass like clouds. You're walking through them, emotionally, energetically, physically. And if you're wondering why everything feels like it's speeding up and slowing down at the same time, it's because the moon isn't just affecting your feelings, it's recalibrating your timing. The moon rules time in the body. It rules the tide of your breath, your hormones, your cycles of rest and renewal. When it shifts, signs this quickly through emotional water, fiery impulse, and grounding earth. It creates a ripple effect through your entire system. You're not imagining the overwhelm. You're not overreacting to people. You're syncing with a new rhythm that hasn't finished stabilizing yet. You may have noticed it already. You've had conversations lately that felt more emotional than they should have been. You've had dreams you woke up from, feeling like something was left unfinished. You've had flashes of déjà vu, or caught yourself staring at nothing, zoning out like your mind was somewhere else entirely. That's not fatigue, that's frequency realignment. These are the body's responses to an energetic threshold. But there's something deeper, something hidden inside this week's shifts that no one is talking about. And if you stay with me until the end, I'll show it to you. You see, within this window is a moment, only about 24 hours long, when the moon, Mars, and the sun all activate a sequence. One that impacts your emotions, your actions, and your identity simultaneously. And when that happens, it unlocks a doorway, not out there in the sky, but in you. Most people won't know it happened. They'll feel weird, then brush it off. But if you can recognize it, if you can name it, you can anchor in a new level of clarity and embodiment that would normally take months of spiritual work to reach. But we're not there yet. Right now, you're still in the opening corridor. You're still being prepared. These next few days are not meant for answers. They're meant for listening, watching, feeling. Because the moon is trying to show you something, and not just about your emotions, but about your next step. So stay with me, because over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through exactly what's happening from June 16th to 21st. How Pisces dissolves the boundaries, how Aries ignites your inner fire, how Taurus reveals what's real, and how the solstice and Mars in Virgo sneak in a deeper message you've been waiting lifetimes to hear. Make sure to like, subscribe, and remember to drop the number 77 in the comments to thank the universe for this moment. The moon is trying to show you something, and if you see it, it changes everything. Number 1. June 16th, Moon in Pisces. The soul is whispering, but you're drowning in noise. So let's begin where the current truly starts. June 16th, as the moon moves into Pisces. This is the moon's dream chamber. It's soft, ethereal, timeless. And yet, this is often when people feel most overwhelmed, most emotional, most uncertain about what's real and what's just echo. Why? Because Pisces doesn't deal in facts. It deals in feelings. And when the moon enters this space, it doesn't just stir your emotions, it dissolves the veil between what's conscious and what's been buried. You might have already felt it, a sudden wave of nostalgia that doesn't make sense, tears welling up while brushing your teeth, waking up from a dream that felt more like a memory than a fantasy, a strange urge to reach out to someone, or the heaviness of missing someone you don't even speak to anymore. This is the Pisces moon whispering. But here's the hard part. Most people can't hear it clearly because we're trained to respond with logic, to filter everything through meaning, to find the why behind every emotion. And in Pisces, there is no linear why. There is only flow. Think of it like being underwater in a vast ocean. You can't see the shore. You can't find the direction. You're surrounded by sensation, temperature, movement, pressure. That pressure isn't here to crush you. It's trying to speak. Pisces energy is the soul's attempt to translate unspoken truths through feeling, not explanation. That's why during this phase, you may feel sleepy yet restless, emotionally full but unable to articulate what's wrong. You're not broken, you're submerged. The moon in Pisces is the closest thing we have to an energetic sponge. It pulls in everything, your own pain, the collective grief, dreams from lifetimes ago, forgotten desires, unresolved conversations. It's all floating around in your field, so when you feel overwhelmed, disconnected, foggy, it's not dysfunction, it's data. Emotional data being filtered in through channels that only open under this kind of lunar influence. You might be wondering, why now? Why do I feel like I'm spiraling into things I thought I healed? Because Pisces doesn't care about your mental checklist. It cares about the emotional residue, what's still lingering under the surface. You may have moved on mentally, but if the body still trembles when a name is spoken or the heart still tightens when you remember a specific date, then that wound isn't closed. The moon knows, and it brings it back, not to punish you, but to help you release what never had a voice. This is why your ritual during the Pisces moon is not about fixing. It's not about problem solving or clarity or strategy. It's about receptivity. Let yourself feel without needing to know why. Let yourself rest without guilt. Let the dreams speak in images and symbols. Journal without censoring. Listen to songs that make you cry. Light a candle, stare into water, touch the skin of your own hand, and ask nothing of it. Because when the moon is in Pisces, logic becomes noise, and emotion becomes signal. It's uncomfortable at first, especially for those who've been taught to stay strong, to stay sharp, to stay in control. But control doesn't work here. Only surrender does. And in that surrender, you might hear the message your soul has been trying to send you all year. So if you're crying at random, it's not breakdown, it's breakthrough. If you're restless but exhausted, it's not confusion. It's the tide pulling your awareness into deeper waters. The pressure you feel now isn't asking for resistance. It's asking for release. The moon has turned the volume up on everything you tried to mute, not to drown you, but to let you finally listen. And if you do, you'll begin to understand what this week is really about. Not making sense of your emotions, but allowing them to guide you to something you forgot you were even looking for. Number 2, June 17th and 18th. Moon in Aries plus Mars enters Virgo, a spark in the fog. As we rise from the dreamy waters of Pisces, something sharp cuts through the fog. On June 17th and 18th, the moon charges into Aries and Mars enters Virgo, a double ignition. Emotion meets impulse, fire meets form. And suddenly, everything feels urgent. The same body that couldn't get out of bed yesterday now wants to run, build, fix, do something. But here's where it gets tricky, because this kind of energy surge isn't clean. It's chaotic. It's like waking up mid-dream and trying to sprint before you've opened your eyes. This shift from Pisces to Aries is no small thing. Pisces dissolved your emotional boundaries. Aries redraws them with fire. If Pisces asked you to feel without logic, Aries demands action without delay, and that contrast is intense. Many people will misread this energy as motivation, but what it really is reaction, a response to the emotional overload you've just been swimming through. It's the body's attempt to reclaim control. You might be asking yourself, why do I suddenly feel frustrated for no reason? Why does everything feel like it's not moving fast enough, even if I don't know where I'm going? That's Aries moon, lighting your inner fuse. It wants motion, not mastery, and when paired with Mars entering Virgo, that energy becomes a sharp blade, cutting through what no longer serves, yes, but also cutting into places still too raw to handle pressure. Virgo Mars adds structure to the flame. It wants precision, perfection, solutions, and that makes this an explosive mix. Wild instinct plus obsessive correction. The result? A burst of productivity, quickly followed by mental burnout. That's why some of you may feel the sudden urge to clean everything, organize your life, purge files, rearrange furniture, or write 20 things on a to-do list, and then find yourself completely drained by mid-afternoon. But what you're feeling isn't dysfunction. It's the fire shaking off the fog. Pisces showed you the dreams. Aries wants to build them. Virgo wants to edit them. And this is where the secret we teased in the intro begins to stir. You might find yourself bothered by things that usually don't affect you. A word someone says, a memory you thought you'd buried, a desire that suddenly feels urgent, not because it's time, but because something deep within you is awakening. This discomfort, these triggers, they aren't distractions, they are signals. The opening begins here, and what feels like agitation is actually activation. This is why your ritual right now isn't just to act, it's to act with awareness. Move your body, yes. Clear your space, yes. Let the fire burn, but don't let it blind you. Every impulse is a message, but not every message is a command. What you feel pulled to do now might not be the final destination, but it's pointing to where your energy is blocked, where the truth is itching to surface. Let this part of the cycle be raw but sacred. Don't rush. Let the fire warm you, not consume you, because beneath the impatience, something ancient is starting to wake up. And the real message of this moon cycle? It starts to whisper right here. Number 3. This isn't a mood swing. It's a memory re-entering the body. And just as you start to feel the fire rise, something else creeps in. Unexpected emotional waves, sudden tears, flashes of frustration that seem to come out of nowhere. This is where many people panic. They think, why am I overreacting? I was fine a moment ago. Why does everything feel so intense, so out of place? But this isn't just emotional instability. This is a memory re-entering the body. You're not swinging, you're sinking. Your system is trying to realign. Imagine downloading new software onto an old computer. Before it works properly, the screen might flicker, the sound might glitch, the whole thing might freeze for a moment. That's not failure, it's recalibration. That's you right now. Emotional energy is trying to install a higher version of your awareness, but your nervous system is still adjusting. These emotional spikes aren't random, they're reminders. When something small hits you hard, a tone in someone's voice, a passing comment, a scent that makes your chest ache, it's not just sensitivity, it's a cellular memory waking up. Something unfinished, something that once got stuck in the body without a proper exit. And now, during this Moon plus Mars activation, it's pushing its way back into awareness so it can finally be cleared. So instead of asking what's wrong with me, ask what's resurfacing. Notice the déjà vu, the unusual cravings, the old songs suddenly hitting harder than usual, that strange fixation on a place, a person, a version of you that once existed. These are not distractions, they're returns, and they're showing up for one reason, because you're strong enough now to face them. Let them rise. Witness them. You're not unraveling, you're remembering. Number 4. June 18th. Moon still in Aries. But something is different. As we move deeper into June 18th, the moon remains in Aries, but now the fire isn't just active, it's pressurized. You may feel like something is about to burst. That strange internal tension, that ache in your chest, your jaw, your gut. It's not coincidence. It's not a bad day. It's not external. It's in you. And it's building for a reason. The Aries moon doesn't just ask for movement, it demands action. But when it lingers, as it does now, that demand starts to intensify into pressure, inner urgency, the kind that makes you want to leap into something just to make the pressure stop. But here's the secret. The tension isn't here to force a reaction, it's here to refine your decision. This is the moment in the fire ritual where you don't yet throw the wood on the flames, but you hold it, feel its weight, and decide if it should burn. You're sitting in the heat, and yes, it's uncomfortable. Aries doesn't like the waiting room. It wants action now. But if you react too fast, you'll move from discomfort, not from clarity. And the moon knows that. So instead of giving you the release you crave, it increases the friction, until the truth becomes undeniable. You might be asking, why does my body feel like it's screaming, even though nothing is technically wrong? Why am I restless, snappy, ungrounded? Because your body holds tension before it transforms, just like water trembles before it boils, just like earth shifts before a sprout breaks through. Your ache is activation. Right now, your body is preparing to make a shift, one that requires clarity of yes and no. Aries is a warrior energy. It doesn't deal in maybe. It wants you to decide, but not from panic, from power. So this moment isn't asking you to act. It's asking you to sit in the intensity long enough to know what's real, because when fire burns without guidance, it destroys, but when it's channeled, it creates. And that's what you're being trained for in this phase. Ritually, this is the time to pause before motion. Let yourself feel the pressure without naming it. Breathe into the fire in your belly. Journal, not for solutions, but for signals. What keeps repeating in your thoughts? What truth keeps pushing to the surface even though you keep trying to suppress it? What have you outgrown but still cling to out of habit? This part of the cycle is messy, it's noisy, but it's not random. Chaos has a clock, and in this case, the clock is your intuition tapping harder and harder until you finally open the door. What aches now may not be pain. It may be the internal gate creaking open, something sacred trying to emerge, and the pressure, that's your soul making space for it. So sit in the fire, let it burn away the noise, let it purify your false yes and your fearful no, because soon that pressure will release. And when it does, the clarity that remains will be unshakable. The decision will make itself, and you'll realize you weren't being tested, you were being tempered. Number 5. June 20th. Sun enters Cancer, plus solstice. The pause that opens everything. And then comes the stillness, not silence, not emptiness, but a pause that carries weight. On June 20th, the sun enters Cancer, and we experience the solstice, the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. It's the turning point. And not just in light, but in energy. All the chaos and fire of the past few days now gives way to something slower, something deeper, something inward. Gemini season was fast, curious, scattered, like flipping through dozens of tabs in your mind all at once. But now the sun leaves that airspace and slips into water, into Cancer, the sign of the soul's home, of emotional roots, of the body's quiet language. This shift isn't just seasonal, it's symbolic. You've reached the peak of the light, and now the journey begins inward. Think of it like standing at the top of a mountain, sun blazing at its highest point, and suddenly realizing you're not meant to keep climbing. You're meant to descend with intention. The light has reached its maximum. And that's the universe's cue not to keep doing, but to feel. To ask not, what am I achieving, but what am I holding? Because whatever lives in your energy today, right now, gets sealed into your next season. Solstice energy does that. It locks in identity. It stabilizes what's been moving wildly. It crystallizes the version of you that's been flickering, unsure, shifting since the last eclipse, the last moon, the last heartbreak. This is why, under the solstice sun, you may feel both lit up and hollow. Like you're glowing on the outside, but being pulled inward by something ancient, something quieter than words. That's not conflict. That's alignment in the making. You may ask, why do I feel like I should be celebrating, but all I want is to retreat? Why am I craving solitude, reflection, comfort, even tears? Because the solstice doesn't just illuminate, it reveals what's been buried beneath the light. And when the sun enters Cancer, it doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for presence. It asks for truth. Not loud truth, but the kind you whisper to yourself when no one's watching. This is where water rituals become powerful, not just symbolically, but emotionally. Bathe not to clean your skin, but to clear your aura. Touch water to remember how to feel. Let your tears be welcomed. Let your heart ache without needing to explain it. Because Cancer energy doesn't want performance, it wants connection to others, to self, to the past versions of you who never got to rest. One of the most healing things you can do right now is an inner child check-in. Sit with a picture of yourself at age 7 or 10 or 14. look into that face and ask, what did they need that I still haven't given? Because this solstice isn't about moving forward, it's about returning. It's about reclaiming the emotions you skipped over because you had to be strong, or fast, or useful. This is the pause that opens everything. It doesn't feel loud, it doesn't feel dramatic, but it's sacred. And it's where your next emotional blueprint is born. What you choose to feel right now, what you allow yourself to access without shame, becomes the energy that shapes the rest of your year. So don't push, don't pretend, sit with your truth. Let it speak in water, in memory, in softness, because the solstice doesn't demand motion, it offers stillness. And in that stillness, if you listen closely, something inside you will answer, not with words, but with relief, because you finally let yourself feel. And from that place, everything grows. Number 6, June 21st, Moon in Taurus. What you're meant to hold will stay in your hands. And just when you think the storm has passed, the waves settle and the dust begins to fall. The moon enters Taurus on June 21st. This is the moment your soul exhales. After days of emotional fog, impulsive fire, and internal tension, something within you begins to land. Not with noise, but with weight. You feel it in your body, in your breath, in the way you suddenly notice the ground again beneath your feet. This is Taurus moon energy, grounded, sensual, and solid. Not because everything is perfect now, but because you've passed through the fire, and what's still in your hands, that's what's real, that's what's stayed. This phase isn't here to bring more motion, it's here to reveal what survived the storm. Metaphorically, imagine a powerful wind blowing through a room filled with papers, candles, broken objects, and fragile things. The wind came. It tossed everything into chaos. You couldn't see clearly. You couldn't hold anything still. But now the wind has stopped. And what's still lying in the center of the floor? That's what matters. That's what was meant to remain. You might be asking, why do I feel the urge to clean, to organize, to put my hands on things and make them beautiful again? Because your nervous system has shifted from survival to stabilization. Your senses are waking up again. The Taurus moon activates the body's connection to the material world. It's not about luxury, it's about anchoring. Smell, touch, texture, music, food, all of it becomes a gateway back into your center. This is the time to honor what's left, to notice what didn't burn away. Maybe it's a relationship that didn't collapse even under emotional pressure. Maybe it's a dream that refused to leave your mind, no matter how much doubt you threw at it. Maybe it's just your own breath, still steady, still here, still yours. That's the essence of Taurus, slow recognition of what is true. The ritual now is simple but sacred. Touch the earth, not metaphorically, literally. Walk barefoot, put your hands in soil, water your plants slowly, touch your own skin, and as you do, remember, everything fleeting has passed, everything real remains. This is also the time to tend to your space. Clean your physical environment, not out of perfectionism, but to match the emotional clarity you're now anchoring. You'll notice that as you organize your outer world, your inner thoughts begin to settle too. That's not coincidence, that's alignment. You might wonder, why do I feel so tired but calm? Why does everything feel quieter but heavier? Because the Taurus moon slows everything down. Not to stop you, but to help you digest everything you've just been through. Emotionally, energetically, physically, it's giving you the grounding to finally catch up with yourself. And in this stillness, something strange and beautiful begins to happen. Ideas start sticking, desires become clearer. What felt impossible yesterday now feels available. The fog is gone. The fire has burned out. What you're left with now are seeds. Some you didn't even know you were planting. But here they are, quietly taking root in the soil of your awareness. Taurus doesn't ask you to leap. It asks you to build. With your hands, with your time, with your breath. And it teaches you that what is slow is not weak. What is still is not empty. Sometimes the most powerful magic doesn't arrive with thunder. It arrives with weight, with stillness, with the deep, quiet knowing, this is mine to carry forward. So look at what's still in your hands. Feel the truth of it, because everything that wasn't real has already blown away. What you're holding now, that's what was always meant for you. And now we arrive at the moment we've been hinting at all along, the hidden doorway. It opened between June 20th and June 21st, when the solstice met the Taurus moon. For just 24 hours, your emotional body and physical body synced, quietly, powerfully, precisely. This is when the downloads from the past week locked in. What you felt during that window became what you're now manifesting. What you touched, even unconsciously, became what you're meant to hold. And what you let go of, that's the weight that finally lifted. It's like lightning striking fertile soil. Something invisible met something grounded, and something real began to grow. So don't dismiss what felt small. If you felt peace, that was the lock clicking shut. If you felt longing, that's the piece still waiting to be retrieved. Let your body guide the rest. Let your hands create without needing to explain. And let yourself rest, because the storm passed through you, not around you. If this resonated, like, subscribe, and comment the number 77 below to mark this portal. Not just for the algorithm, but as your way of saying, I felt it, I heard the message, and I'm ready for what's next.